Dr. Jeremy Weiss here. I'm founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders like the founders of P90X, Einstein Bagels, many more, how they overcome big challenges in life and business. This is part of the e-commerce mastery series where top sellers and experts teach you what really works to boost your e-commerce business. Our sponsor today is rise25.com. And if you're an entrepreneur running a 6, 7, or 8-figure business and want to grow and want to be around other top performers, this is for you. It's a group of top entrepreneurs that come together to solve their biggest business challenges and leave with lifelong friendships. Rise 25 is run by myself and my co-founder, John Corcoran, who's a former White House writer under Clinton, Silicon Valley entrepreneur, an attorney, and check out rise25.com. Today, I'm excited. We have Kimberly Crupi Dobbins, founder of Simple Squares Organic Nutrition Bars. She bootstrapped the company after going on a sabbatical from Morningstar. She went from making the bars in her kitchen to selling over 1 million bars in a year. And they're sold in Whole Foods, Starbucks, and many more. Kimberly, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jeremy.
You know, Kimberly, since it's the e-commerce mastery series, I always ask, what's been the lowest moment and what's been the proudest moment?
Okay.
What's been the lowest moment and how you pushed through?
I think the lowest moment for me, because it was before we got started, was the leaking of the packages.
Yeah.
You have all this momentum.
That's painful.
Years in the making, yeah. And then you're thinking, is this all going to fall apart right now before I even launch?
What do you think happened there? Because it's not like you had made a lot of different bars and that hadn't happened before. What do you think it was?
It was more in our process of how we were actually laying out the bars. So yeah, all part of the extrusion.
Wow. Because it also makes me think, well, was it maybe the packaging or was definitely the bar at the time? Were you thinking anything else was the problem?
No, it was definitely the ingredients.
You knew, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so what do you do? How do you react to that? Like as a business owner, entrepreneur, do you take like a day just to like, I don't want to think about it? Or are you immediately calling someone? What did you do at the time if you remember, when you got the call?
It's actually funny. I didn't get the call. I went to open a box to ship to a customer and it was dripping. So I was like, oh, this isn't good. So I immediately called the co-packer and, we tried to work through it and, obviously didn't solve it that day, but they got the R&D team. I have a wonderful manufacturer. They got the R&D team together, and we were able to, try different scenarios, get back into the schedule to do another pilot and see if it would work. And but yeah, it took probably 8 months. Well, maybe not that long, but by the time we got to launch, it was 8 months. But we figured it out earlier, which was good.
Yeah. So you just ended up eating 2,000 bars? Like what happens to those bars?
Yes.
If you have a batch that goes bad, I'm going to drive over. Tell me, and I'll buy them and eat them.
It's so funny you say that because this is horrible. I mean, we had a lot of bars left over, and they're still sitting at my parents' house in New Jersey. And my dad, every now and then, will call me and be like, I'm just trying one of those pilot bars, and they're not bad. I'm like, it's been 5 years. You can't.
You should not be eating. Yeah, like you need to get rid of those. Hey, maybe the oil preserved it. Maybe you're onto something there.
Well, that's the thing. It could be the honey is a natural preservative. So yeah, but every time he calls me and tells me that, I'm like, it's time to stop. We can eat the loss at this point.
Right, literally. What about the proudest moment?
Proudest moment. That's a great question. The proudest moment, I would say, we were interviewed by the New York Times for a group called the Story Exchange, and it's about
I saw that. It was really good.
Yeah, I think that was I was really proud of that. I was proud of where we, how we had grown up until that point. Some days you wake up and you're just proud to still be in business. So
yeah.
But I think working with the Story Exchange and the New York Times was a proud moment.
What did it feel like, though? I don't know who you got the call from about Starbucks. How did you find out about that?
Oh, it's so embarrassing. we were at Natural Products Expo West, and the buyer, I didn't know it was the buyer, but the buyer comes up to me and she's like, Kimberly, hey. And I was like, oh, I must know her, so I leaned in, I gave her a big kiss, and she's like, hey, I'm, so-and-so, the buyer for Starbucks. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm more.
That's what got you in. That's a good thing.
Let's hope so. But yeah, so we found out there, and yeah, we've kind of been working.
You mean she just went up to you after they had placed the order, telling you she was the buyer, or what?
No, it was just to say we've decided that we move forward. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it was just that first initial. But again, she was so friendly, and I thought she knew me, and I'm, a very passionate person. And so I gave her, a big hug, and then she told me who she was. And I think I was about 3 shades of purple.
How does that feel, though? She comes up to you, and this is, 6 years in the making?
Yeah. Well, I need to go back and look when we first initially touched base with them, but it was a great feeling, and it was very unexpected. So we were thrilled.
Yeah. So what else? What should we leave people with?
Let's see. So for people starting their own businesses, again, I think it goes back to, bottom line is going to be numbers. Have a really solid plan in place for not only the growth of your company, but also how you're going to finance it. I was fortunate enough to be able to bootstrap for 4 years, and then we took on investment last year.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. How do you decide to take on investment or not? Just you're growing so quickly?
I think it's to keep up with scale. And, in order for us to be able to continue and just work on cash flows and be able to look at new product development, I think you can either go – it doesn't have to be one of two ways, but the two most popular routes are going to be grow it slower and organically and don't take on investors, or pedal to the metal, we're going to ramp it up.
For sure.
And it's different for every business.
Yeah.
I'd say definitely that. And then again, going back to kind of being persistent and not shutting down when people close the door on you, because there will be several of those, and riding the wave.
Kimberly, thank you so much. Hugely valuable. Everyone should check out simplesquares.com. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.